Knowledge is said to be power. So let's discuss exactly what the self care framework for natural health products entails and how it will impact manufacturers, practitioners, small businesses, and consumers alike. And with a new government in power, it will be interesting to see how much time we will have before this new law takes effect. So let's talk about that. First, let's recap, if you can, the self care framework, what it is, and when is it supposed to take effect.
Okay, so the self-care framework is just the latest attempt for Health Canada to harmonize fully how we regulate natural health products so that we have the exact same standards as the chemical drugs, which is a little ingenious because Health Canada knows that without intellectual property rights, we basically can't comply. But one of the most troubling ones that we're facing this year, because Health Canada said we're going to implement new fees this year.
Mm,
So right now, you pay GST on natural health products where
right.
you don't for pharmaceutical products. You pay to go to your naturopathic doctor. You don't go pay to see your medical practitioner. But
Mhm,
we haven't had to pay the licensing fees.
mhm.
So, and there's two types of fees. So if you're going to manufacture, label, distribute, there's a different fee for each one of those activities.
Okay.
And it can add up to about 50 grand if you're doing a full scope per building. And
Okay.
so they're going to implement those fees, and they're also going to implement fees for product licensing, both to apply and yearly fees. Now, there was concern when Health Canada let everyone know that they were going to do this, that we would actually lose our traditional Chinese practitioners
Oh,
and our homeopathic doctors outright, because each one of those needs thousands of products to have a scope of practice. And even the yearly licensing fee alone would, drive the distributors out of business. Now, I had a conversation with, a high up in Health Canada who said, well, we think we'll put a cap on the yearly renewal fees to try and alleviate that problem.
okay.
But we're far from confident that it's going to alleviate the problem. And every other manufacturer that learned about these fees, like 100%, has basically said we're either going to drop products or completely, stop doing business in Canada.
That's
Well,
bad.
and then prices will increase for those products that are left over.
Yeah.
And it also is we're going to lose manufacturing expertise. Canada actually has a
Mm.
lot of small manufacturers, and that's where the innovation happens. Like we've created products that, really are super innovative.
And we
And
should be
we
celebrating that, not make it more difficult for them, right?
Oh, well, we should, and we get manufacturing expertise by having a whole bunch of little manufacturers. But what's going to happen well, you're going to price them out.
Mm.
So everyone's just going to go to a contract manufacturer. So we're going to end up with two or three contract manufacturers. And so we'll lose our ability to manufacture or our expertise, but we'll also put ourselves in a position where Health Canada can shut down the industry by just going to a couple of choke points. So it's kind
Right.
of like if we backed up 25 years with the abattoirs. We used to have small abattoirs everywhere,
Mm.
which, in my opinion, we had better food safety and it was way kinder for the animals. But Health Canada, or the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, in the name of safety, basically consolidated. So now we have, a small number of large ones, but it really gives the government complete control over the food supply. It doesn't increase safety. That's why we did it.
Mm.
And we're doing the same in the natural health product industry. So one of my concerns is just, it's better for the citizen if the citizens basically have control over their food supply.
Right.
And when we're talking about supplements, that's our food supply.
Right.
Like, people supplement because they know they're not getting the nutrition they need out of their food
Right.
anymore.
Well, Sean, during the election, the NHPPA worked hard to inform Canadians about this upcoming change to natural health products. How do you feel Canadians responded overall? How was the message being received? And are people listening and receiving or choosing to ignore? We have 30 seconds.
Well, we're not there yet because we haven't solved the problem. So we need to grow and grow. And I invite people to go to nhppa.org and subscribe to our newsletter to plug in and become part of the solution. But it does resonate because most of us take natural health products, although there's a bunch of us that can't afford them anymore because of this overregulation. And that in itself is a huge problem and a huge public policy issue.
Right. All right. We'll have more right after the break. Stay with us.